Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Jade Frost. I am a registered dietitian with a passion for affordable nutrition. In today's video, I am sharing 5 dinner recipes for a family of 4 for around 250 Rand. But before we get to that, I want to take a moment to say a big thank you to all of you for the 500 subscribers. Some of you will know that I have been away for quite some time, but seeing the amazing feedback after posting my last 2 videos, it just made me want to pour more of my energy and time into making more videos for you guys. So today's video will be a little bit longer because I've included some more nutrition information and tips along the way, just as my way of saying thank you for your support, and I hope you'll enjoy it. I use the following structure as a basis for each meal: 1 protein, 1 starch, 1 non-starchy veg, and a fat. I try my best to stick to this layout, but I do allow for variation. So sometimes you'll see that there is less non-starchy veg on one day and more on the other, but ultimately it tends to balance out. Note that starchy veg includes things like potatoes, sweet potatoes, butternut, corn, green peas, because these veggies have a higher starch content. So for this reason, we group starchy veggies with other starches, such as rice, pasta, bread, etc. If you have the budget to get a wider variety of veggies, then please do so. I just wanted to make the most use of what I bought to minimize food waste and save money. With regards to the lentil and bean chili, you could also make that with lean mince if you have the budget. I will be listing all of the recipes that I used in the description box. Just note that I make a lot of adjustments, so I don't always stick to them to a T. I kind of make adjustments based off my family's preferences and what we have available. So you might be wondering why I don't only use my own original recipes, and the thing is that recipe development can be really expensive. You're constantly having to trial and error until you get the recipe spot on, and I just don't have the means for that right now. Okay, hence the theme of this channel, the frugal dietitian, budget-friendly meals. That my first video was something like how to live off 25 Rand a day. Okay, so I would love to someday have my own collection that I can give to you guys of affordable, nutritious meals. But until we get there, we're going to use what we have, and we're going to try and build a really healthy menu that fits within our means. Starting with the flatbreads, I find that double cream or Greek yogurt works best for this recipe. Low fat kind of messes with the texture of the flatbreads in my experience. I followed the basic recipe, which is linked in the description, but I added a teaspoon of dried oregano and parsley for more flavor. If you have kids who would like to get involved with cooking, this could be a nice task for them. The flatbreads don't have to be perfect. Mine certainly were not. You could also skip this bread making process altogether and buy ready-made flatbreads or rotis, although these are quite pricey. Another alternative is to purchase already made bread dough from the store and use that to make your flatbreads. This is how they turned out, and guys, we fight over this every time because of how good they are, and honestly, I don't mind making them at least once a week or so. This curry recipe is really easy to follow and a great way to eat more legumes. Legumes, also called pulses, includes foods such as beans, peas, and lentils, and when eaten regularly, so that's 3 to 4 servings a week, can help to prevent and manage chronic conditions such as heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes. It can also assist with weight loss and improving gut health. Legumes are a nutrient-dense source of protein and fiber. They are also low in fat and sodium. You can add these to your meat or chicken dishes to extend the meat, or use them to replace the meat entirely. They can be used in a variety of dishes, which I will be showing you how to do in this video. The original recipe calls for 1 full can of coconut milk, but I only used half a can. Bear in mind that coconut milk does contain saturated fat. The guidelines state that we should try to limit our saturated fat intake to less than 10% of our total daily energy intake. I started this recipe with what they call velveting the chicken. So for every 250 grams of chicken, you use a 3/4 teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate. You mix it, allow it to sit for 20 minutes, and then rinse very well before using. I have linked this in the description. It basically makes the chicken super tender, which is quite useful when you're using less tender cuts such as chicken breast. I used half the cabbage for the stir fry, so in other words, that's 1/4 of the whole head. Remember, I'm only using half a cabbage for this week. And then I kept the rest for the chicken liver stew and egg fried rice that's coming up. I also used 3 carrots, which I peeled and grated. So that's our non-starchy veg for this meal. So despite planning 2 dishes that needed soya sauce for the week, I did not have any. I didn't get it because it was the last week of the month, so I just used what I had on hand. I also swapped out a few other ingredients to make the sauce, but it still tasted pretty good. Oh my word, this is too much cabbage. What the? I use spaghetti for this recipe, which is not conventional, I know, but egg noodles are super pricey. So of course, if you do have the budget, definitely use the egg noodles instead. So this is another dish that makes use of plenty of legumes. When cooking with legumes, try to save your spices for later. Spices and salt seem to prolong the cooking time in some cases, like it did here with the brown lentils. So I ended up having to add more liquid and cook them for a longer time. The corn here is optional, but I had it on hand, so I ended up including it in the recipe, but I would suggest adding another non-starchy veggie instead. It is wilted. The cabbage is wilted. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Drop any questions you have or comments in the comment section below, and I will see you next time.